What up, YTBC? What up, boxing fans? Yo, I gotta talk about the state of boxing, man. It's crazy, man. Like, I just don't get it. It's like these fighters have no ambition, bro. They don't have any ambition to do anything, to become great, man. These fighters have no ambition, and the fans are okay with it. I've never seen a generation like this one in boxing, where people are okay with fighters fighting bums every time. None of these fighters have ambition to become something greater, to show and prove that they are the man. All right? And some of these fight guys are doing it. Ward is doing it. He moved up. And his third fight, probably his third fight, which is going to be his fourth fight at that division. He's going to be fighting the man at that division. Okay? And you got Amir Khan doing it. Props to those guys. And you got Deontay Wilder going to Russia to fight Povetkin. Props to Deontay Wilder for that. But he's not going to get no credit for that anyways. You know, and people, they want you to give credit to these fighters that have not proven anything. Okay? They have not proven anything when it comes to the big scale of who is great. All right? Who is pound for pound, achievement-wise. And, you know, like, look, man. Every great fighter, besides maybe a couple, who didn't have to move, who couldn't move and didn't have to move up and weight. Like Marvin Hagler didn't have to move because the guys who were great at his time were coming up to him. All right? And Muhammad Ali is a heavyweight. All right? He's not going to go down. All right? Most of the greats have always moved up and fought guys who were at their caliber, the same caliber as they are. Skill-wise, you know, and accomplishment-wise, or something. What we're seeing now is a bunch of fighters who just don't care. As long as they keep winning, they can keep getting paid, and the fans who have agendas, the media who has agenda too, are happy. See, like, there's two guys to me that really irks me with this stuff. That this stuff irks me with, which I have nothing against them. I have something against the public, the media, and the fans who are trying to give them a credit without them having to do anything. Okay? I mean, they are champions, they hold belts. And that's an accomplishment within itself because, you know, but having a belt in boxing doesn't put you in the caliber of a great fighter. It doesn't put you over all the other fighters. No matter, like, it doesn't make you better than all these fighters that have all these accomplishments already. All right? Having belts and beating champions don't change anything. It's who you've beaten. All right? It's the caliber of people you've beaten, you faced. That, look, I cannot tell you where I would rank these guys. All right? Gennady Golovkin and Chocolatito, because they have not been through the fire to show me what type of metal they're made of. All right? They have not shown me what their limitations or where they're at. I cannot tell you that because they have not shown it to me by facing guys who would show me if they're above those caliber of fighters or if they're below. I cannot tell. And don't give me he beat all this guy and that guy. That guy was a champion. That guy did this. Don't give me that. Whatever guys you're telling me about, okay? I guarantee you none of those guys are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. Okay? 1. 2, none of those guys were reigning pound for pound top 5 fighters. None of them. Okay? On any list. So, you can't come up to me and start telling me these guys have beaten this or have done that. And there's plenty of champions in boxing, like I always said. and plenty of guys who've beaten champions. But a lot of them hide somewhere sometimes and don't fight nobody. And a lot of them never fought anybody with names. That's why some of these champions, nobody remember their names. Because they haven't fought anyone to make you remember. They haven't fought anyone of any substance. So they were just belt holders. Okay? Until someone real shows up and takes that belt from them. It always happens that way. There's nothing new in boxing. There's nothing new besides this agenda of pushing these people down our throats. All right? And it has nothing to do with Gennady Golovkin racial background or chocolatito's racial background, because I do not give a damn if they were purple, blue, or red. Okay? No matter how much slack I gave Manny Pacquiao, I always respected that he did the things that he did. And I wouldn't put certain people over Manny Pacquiao. Never would. Never would do that. In his era. All right? Now the thing is this. I always judge fighters by what they can show me depending on their opposition. And if you can't show me anything, if I can see anything, if I don't get anything to judge you by, then I can't put you in any type of list or any type of rankings because you haven't shown me. So just because a few writers or some people who back you say you're the best, so I have to forget everything everyone else has been doing and just, oh yeah, he's good. No. So I have to really forget everything everyone else in the sport of boxing I've been doing just so I can give you credit. I can't do that. I can't disrespect all these other fighters like that. That's disrespecting the sport. I can't put you ahead of guys like Tim Bradley because I will be straight disrespecting Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez. Okay? I will disrespect these fighters. I can't put you ahead of certain fighters because their opposition, because I would be disrespecting their oppositions and the people that they beat. I can't put you ahead of Kovalev because that's straight disrespect to the great Bernard Hopkins. All right? I can't put you ahead of Tyson Fury. Disrespect to Klitschko. Disrespect. How can I put you ahead of guys like even Danny Garcia? Because I'll be straight disrespecting Eric Morales. See what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. Okay? For me to put you ahead of Lara. I'll be disrespecting Paul Williams. You know, who, like, come on, look. You got to think about what you're saying before you say it. You got to think about why are you giving this guy these props. It's like people completely forgot there's other fighters in boxing. They completely forgot that there were other fighters in boxing. Completely forgot. But I guess somebody has to remind you guys that there are fighters in boxing who fought legends and who fought great fighters who've proven themselves. All right? And when you put these guys ahead of those guys, you're disrespecting those fighters that they beat and those fighters that they faced, because you're saying those guys they faced and those guys they beat aren't jack shit compared to those guys that the other guys beat. Okay? That's what you're literally saying. You're saying a win over Juan Manuel Marquez is nothing compared to a win over Lemieux. You're saying win over Klitschko is nothing compared to a win over Curtis Stevens. This is what you're saying when you do these things. You are disrespecting these fighters, man. Not the fighters that you didn't rank, the fighters that they fought and the fighters that they beat. And it's sad, man. It's sad because that's what boxing is coming down to. Is I'll defend this guy because he looks like me. I'll defend this guy because he speaks my language. I'll defend this guy because it's so sad, man. It's so sad. Instead of looking at boxing just as the sport. But I mean, boxing always revolved around race. It has always been that way. That's why when Jack Johnson beat Jim Jeffries, the world went crazy. They murdered a lot of people. That's why when Jack Johnson won the title, the cops came in and shut off the broadcast, and they killed more people. All right. That's why Joe Louis can't freaking smile when he takes pictures. That's why he can't celebrate. All right. That's why Manny Pacquiao can't quote the Bible. It's not because it's Manny Pacquiao saying it. Okay. Meanwhile, Kovalev can call people monkeys, can do all that, and there's no repercussions. All right. We gotta stop that shit. All right. We gotta focus more on accomplishments of fighters. Because this whole thing of having guys who have no names, no real names, all right, who have no real names on their resume to show and prove their mettle through fire. That's why we have those guys on the pound for pound list. Okay? It's all agenda based, man. Yeah, there's no merit to it. You're doing a 2015 pound for pound list. 2015 or 2016 pound for pound list. Manny Pacquiao fought this year. How can any of those guys be on higher than Manny Pacquiao? Tim Bradley is still fighting. What have these guys done that's greater than what Tim Bradley has done? Who have they beaten? Who have they fought that is greater than Tim Bradley? What Tim Bradley has done? How can this not be agenda? These guys want to prove that they're the best. Here's a suggestion. How about Gennady Golovkin after the unification bout of DeGale and Badou Jack decides, hey, since Canelo don't want to fight me, I got nobody to fight at 160. How about I go to 168 and fight the winner of Badou Jack and James DeGale? But you know what's gonna happen? I bet you it ain't gonna happen. I bet you he won't have the balls to do that. You know what? I'm not gonna say he won't have the balls. I bet you his promotion team and his people don't have the balls to do that. Because I'm going to tell you why. They want to protect this guy and they want to just keep him fighting bums. Chocolatito comes into fights at 124 pounds, 126 pounds. Guillermo Rigondeaux comes into fights about the same weight, 126, 124. Heaviest I've seen him is 128. If Chocolatito want to prove that he is the man, fight Guillermo Rigondeaux and shut everybody up. I don't think there'd be one person who could say anything about Chocolatito not being the pound for pound fighter in the world if he fought and beat Rigondeaux. Shoot, I'd probably rank him after that, even if he lost. That's just me. You know? And I know, oh, why they gotta do that? You just hating on these guys. Okay. Oh, that's cool. While Khan can just move up and go fight Canelo, but that's okay. Right? Nobody, oh, that's just normal, right? Andre Ward could move up to 175 and compete there now, right? Nobody's gonna give him props for that, right? Deontay Wilder could go fight somebody in their own backyard in Russia. Dangerous fighter that nobody thought he would fight. He's not gonna get no props for that though, right? And boxing is is getting worse, man. It's nothing new. I mean, it's still nothing new, but man, the amount of glory being given out to these fighters who have not proven it is crazy. It's crazy. While all these fighters were busting their butts, busting their ass, fighting the tough competition, fighting the guys who people think they could not beat, getting into the fire, and coming out unscathed to prove their mettle. These guys get a pass to just fight guys. I mean, I'm not saying Chocolatito didn't fight good fighters. He did. Golovkin hasn't, to be honest. Golovkin hasn't at all. Chocolatito fought good fighters, you know. And that McWilliams thing is very fishy, seeing how the guy had a year off. All right? Coming off a year off. That's still fishy to me. So, I still don't know where to put this man at. You know. There's no one down there there's no one down there for him to fight to really give him the accolade of being the best fighter in the world. He has to do something else. He could fight all those guys, all the top 10 guys at that weight class, and get all the belts. All right? He'd be undisputed. But what would that mean compared to Deontay Wilder winning all the belts, being the undisputed heavyweight champion? That would be the same. That would not even be close, because that's the heavyweight championship. How would that be different from Golovkin getting all the middleweight belts? See? It's the quality of opponent. There's levels, like they say, to this stuff. And if you're not fighting at a certain level to prove your mettle, then how can somebody rank you? How? Anyways, that's all I gotta say, man. Because this is getting ridiculous, man. Oh, put it this way. Of all the fights happening this year, all right? All the fights happening this year, which fight are you the most excited about seeing? I'll tell you which one I'm most excited about seeing. Andre Ward versus Kovalev. All right? You know why? Because he's putting himself through the flames to show us his mettle. All these other fights is just bullshit fights. Except for Khan versus Canelo. Andre versus Kovalev, my bad. Khan versus Canelo. Ward versus Kovalev, sorry. And also, I'm pretty excited to see this Deontay Wilder versus Golovkin fight. Other than that, everything else is just there. Only because some of these fighters are putting themselves in a position where they are not favored, where they are not expected to come out unscathed. And that's what makes a fighter great. When was the last time you saw a fight that came up with Golovkin and you went, oh man, he might not make it through this one? How about Chocolatito? You're like, oh man, I don't know about this. Never, right? Yeah, I pretty much thought so too. Anyways, man, I'm out. Let me know what you think. Peace.